is Rebecca Schissel-Marshall with Whole Body Upgrade, a podcast to help you get unstuck, feel better, and have more energy. Let's get started. I want to begin by welcoming in the directions, the great direction of the east, the direction of the south, the direction of the west, and the direction of the north. I call in all of the elements, the element of air, fire, water, and earth. I welcome in all the helping and compassionate spirits that are of the light and our ancestors that have lived well and died well, both of whom are supporting us in this life on this earth. And I acknowledge that I'm on the land of the Creek in the Cherokee in what is now known as Athens, Georgia. Hello, dear ones. Welcome to episode 60. How are you today? Are you taking good care of yourself? Are you treating yourself with the utmost love and attention? I hope so. I know it can be difficult to remember, and to remember that you're made of light, that you are light. And so I'm here to remind you that that's who you are. And that's not exactly what we're talking about today, but it's always a good reminder. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about balance. And more accurately, what is balance and what it's not. It's a common word that I hear many women talking about, and especially in academia. And I think we see it as some goal that we need to achieve. Our society talks a lot about achieving balance or obtaining balance as if there is some checkbox or scale where we can get just the right amount of hours of work and just the right amount of hours of play or the right amount of veggies and dessert, that balance or that ratio in order to make ourselves feel a certain way. And I think that many of us, myself included, are often trying to avoid this deeper work of being uncomfortable in order to be well or obtain wellness. I see many women who don't want to give up sweets, so they keep having a dessert, and they call that having a balanced life. Here's what I see, though. It is going to feel uncomfortable. Balance also includes uncomfortableness. Saying no to someone, and that can be uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable to eat food that looks different from what other people have at the standard office party. And it's certainly uncomfortable to bring your own food or not eat at all when you're going to that dinner party or the office party. Often we use that word balance to mean that, well, if I have a little bit of sugar and a little bit of the drink I have, then I'm balanced because I get a little bit of what I like and a little bit of what I don't like. And that feels like balance. And I want to challenge that concept because to me, it feels very different to actually be balanced. And the way I see it, it's just a very different concept when we think about balance. If someone really wants to be healthy, if someone wants to heal polycystic ovarian syndrome or chronic pain or fatty non-alcoholic liver disease, then there are going to be things that you will do that will not look, and I'm going to put quotes around this, balanced to American society, right? Our society really has it wrong about what balance is. It will actually look quite unbalanced to be taking care of yourself in a way where you say no, in a way where you bring your own food. But the end result is achieving the way that you want to feel. And that, to me, is balanced. So it's not 50% of this and 50% of that. It's caring for and listening to what your body needs in that moment. The balance of knowing what you are willing to work for, of what you want in your life, and what's important to you. That's balance. If you're happy with the way that your health is and you aren't having any of those problems, then it might be the right time to have that chocolate cake, right? I'm not saying that everyone has to cut out all of the pleasurable things in life, and especially with like inflammatory foods. And if your body is struggling with inflammation, if it's struggling with disorders that are influenced by food, which can be quite a few, it isn't balanced. I just don't think it's balanced to eat or to participate in what's causing you difficulty, what's causing the trouble in your life. So maybe you remember, this to me kind of has the visual that goes with it. Do you remember the Weebles from the 70s? Maybe you're old enough for that, or maybe you've seen the commercials. So this was a toy. They were like little people toys, right? They were the Weebles. And they looked kind of like eggs that had been painted as people. And they had their own little plane and their own little house and all that sort of stuff. It's very strange, I'm sure, for kids of today, but this is the thing when I was little. And I just remember the old commercial. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, right? They would rock, but they wouldn't tip over. Like if there was a flat bottom, one of those little play school toys or something like that. Instead, it was rounded and it was a heavier base. So it would shift left and right, but it would eventually come back to center. That's, to me, a little bit more about what balance is like. Center is actually a place of back and forth. Balance is a place of back and forth. And sometimes you just might be all over the place. Things might be really hard. Things might be really tough for you. And it can still be balanced. It's not perfectly still, and it definitely looks different for different people. Now, as I said, balance, I don't think it's something to check off or achieve. It's being in the messy middle of listening to your body and nourishing who you are and what you want. For me, it's really important to keep coming back to the body and to make sure the mind isn't creating this idea of what, again, quotes, balance is all about. The mind will tell you the candy bar is balanced. The mind will tell you all of these things that, treat yourself, that are, you deserve it. And then it will beat you up afterwards for eating it or for doing it, right? Balance to me looks more like, well, if I want something sweet, then maybe I find a way of either buying or creating a healthy dessert that satisfies the sweet tooth without giving up on my goals and my wishes. So I've talked about on the podcast before that, sometimes I'll love a good ice cream, and that one's actually 100% healthy. There's nothing in that. But I'll also make occasionally some chocolate chip cookies, but instead of gluten flour, they use, as one of the substances, they use chickpeas. So it has a lot of protein in it. It does have some sweet in it. But the difference between buying a chocolate chip cookie and making one that's made out of chickpeas, there's some different nutrients in that. So it can be a healthier choice. If you aren't sure how to find a state of balance, if you don't even know, if you don't even have that concept of it, first I want you to drop the idea of what you think balance is and focus primarily on the body. Use the body wisdom to determine what is needed, what is right for you in this moment. Be careful not to listen to the mind, because the mind will come in, right, with its wants and desires, but the body has different wants and desires. It may be that it changes day to day, and likely it will, right? Likely it will. Practice noticing what is the mind or the ego saying, and then going deeper and listening to the voice that comes without urgency, with a quiet peacefulness that is unmistakable. Okay, dear ones, I hope that it's helpful to be thinking about balance as we move into this next season with the school year starting. I'm seeing you all in your own divine light. Take good care of yourself. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Whole Body Upgrade. If you'd like to learn more about working with me, you can visit me on Facebook or Instagram or on my website, CenteredYou, that's CenteredYou.com. See you on the next episode of Whole Body Upgrade.